Alright, in this video I want to look at a couple examples of doing some application problems. One of the places that I know we struggle a lot is with application problems and being able to put the information together properly in order to get an answer. So I've got two examples here that I wanted to look at. So the first one says that you have two brothers, David and Kevin, that inherit $6,000. David invests his inheritance in a savings account with an annual return of 2.7%, while Kevin invests his inheritance in a CD paying 5.9% annually. How much more money than David does Kevin have after a year? So the first thing I have to do is you have to calculate how much each brother ends up making, and we're looking at interest, so we're going to use this interest formula and we're going to try and calculate how much each brother made in interest. So first and foremost, what do we know? We know that we have David, and we know that David has inherited $6,000, and we know that he has a rate of 2.7%. And we know that we're doing this over the span of 1 year. So when we're looking at the interest for David, this is going to be my $6,000 times, you need to convert your percentage to a decimal. So here this is going to be 0.027 and then times 1. Now remember, your time is always going to be given in years. So if it's given to you in anything else, you're going to need to convert it over to years. So what we simply have to do is multiply this together, and this is going to give us the interest for David. So when we do that, we're going to come out with that David earned $162 in interest. Now we have to look at Kevin. So Kevin is our other brother, and again he's got $6,000. He's going to invest it at 5.9%, and again it's for 1 year. So here we need to look at the interest for Kevin. So this is going to be your $6,000. Again, convert your percent to a decimal. So times 0.059 and then times 1 year. So Kevin is going to earn $354. The question wants to know how much more money than David does Kevin have. It's a very weird worded question, but essentially Kevin has more money. So here we know that Kevin has, you're going to take 354 and subtract 162. So we know that Kevin has $192 more than David. And that's all you have to do for that problem. Now the second problem seems like it's going to be complicated, but it turns out it's really not so bad. You're just doing it twice. So it says Ben's kayak travels 14 kilometers per hour in still water. If the river's current flows at a rate of 2 kilometers per hour, how long will it take him to travel 20 kilometers downstream and then upstream? So first, there's a few things that we need to take into account, and that is when we are talking about downstream, a lot of the times we are talking about with the current. So this essentially would be like you are adding. Now when we go upstream, usually this is going to go against the current. So this is like thinking about subtracting. Now the other thing that we know is we know that D equals RT. And when we're talking about rate here, your rate here is talking about your speed of the kayak and the current. Okay, so that is what we're doing. So first things first, we need to be able to calculate downstream. So when we're talking about downstream, D is your distance. So we're setting up that we know that we have 20 kilometers is equal to your rate. So my rate here is going to be the kayak, 14 kilometers per meter. We're going to add the current, and my current was 2 kilometers per meter, and we don't know the time. So here, very simply, 14 plus 2 gives you 16. So here we're going to have 20 is equal to 16t. Divide everything by 16 and we end up with t is going to be 20 over 16, which is going to be the same as 1.25 hours. Now we have to do the same idea for upstream. So when we're looking at upstream, we are going to be setting up that we still have the same 20, but this time we're going to subtract. So we've got the 14 for your kayak minus the 2, because now we are fighting the current. Well, 14 minus 2 is 12. So here we're going to have 20 equals 12t. So t is going to be 20 over 12, which is going to be 1.67 hours. Now, when you're looking at your calculations, it should make sense that fighting the current should take you longer to travel than when you're flowing with the current. So if you have any questions, let me know. Otherwise, remember to relax, keep smiling, enjoy yourself. I'll see you next time.